Mental Health Monday
on Radio City Talk
with Mick Coyle.
Tackling the stigma.
Radio City Talk.
Welcome to Mental Health Extra. Jake Mills is with us in the studio. Jake's great to see you.
It's great to see you. It feels like it's been forever.
Well, because it was a bank holiday last week, there was no Mental Health Monday.
Yeah.
And as a result of that, no Mental Health Extra. So it's been 2 weeks.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm very good, thank you.
Well, actually, I've got a question for you, because last time that we did speak, we spoke about the idea of being in an open field being good for your mental health.
Yeah.
You went to Wales. You walked in fields.
I did.
How do you feel?
Yeah, so we went up to the top of the Great Orme and I looked out over Snowdon and sky was blue, and I thought, this is good. This is good for your soul.
There you go.
And I couldn't put it in my mind, but my wife said, "Oh, we're going to go and go on the playground and the stuff that's up there." And I went, "Can I just stay here for another few minutes?" And it was just about having those moments.
There you go. See,
good for the soul.
And it's good because we've now putting that theory into practice, and that's the latest strand of the Mental Health Extra.
Yeah, away days.
yeah.
We basically
activity days.
We just basically get in a coach, go up to Crosby. That's near your house.
Yeah.
We could just go on the beach for a bit.
Yeah, and then I'll just walk home.
Yeah, or offer to make me some tea, something like that. Jake joins us every Tuesday to discuss a whole host of different mental health matters, things that have come off the back of the programme, and also to get into your emails and your tweets about the previous week's and the current week's Mental Health Monday. Val was this week's guest on Mental Health Monday, and Val, she was a whirlwind. When I first met Val, I said, "Val, you would be perfect to come on Mental Health Monday." She said, "I'm not really a mental health specialist." But I thought the conversation that we had yesterday about how she viewed her life, how she viewed herself throughout her life and how that was changing, and now what she does in terms of being an inspirational speaker, motivational speaker as well. I thought that is exactly what mental health is about, because it was how you viewed yourself from a mental point of view as opposed to a physical point of view. It was never about, and your issues were never about your physicality. Your issues were always about how you were perceived by the world and how you perceived the world too. It was a fascinating conversation with her.
Yeah, I think what she was proof of was resilience. And I've never met Val, but I felt like I knew her after that interview, and I think she's been through more than anybody should have to go through. But look at her attitude, the resilience that she's had to not only get through those times, but then to make her life what she wants it to be and to help other people. And she was, when you talk about positivity, within seconds you knew that's what you were going to get from Val yesterday. She just kind of she oozed that positivity, and I felt good listening to it as well. As I say, despite the things she was talking about, you still felt really positive and inspired by it.
The conversation, for people who haven't heard it, can listen back via the Mental Health Monday podcast and check it out, episode 60, Val's story. One of the things around is that sense of self-loathing, sense of shame that can exist with somebody from things that happen at a young age. Now, she admitted she was a happy-go-lucky kind of girl, when she even looks back at her diary from the time, even though she had this moment in her childhood, which people would now absolutely associate with abuse by an elder, by a teacher. She still had this happy-go-lucky outlook on life. But as that turned into her adult existence, if you like, that then started to have an impact on herself and how she viewed herself, saying at one point, "People, you think that I'm nice, but I'm not a nice person. You just don't know me well enough yet." And she was a nice person. She was always a nice person. But events can conspire against an individual. Yeah,
it's that self-loathing, isn't it? Which I think most people have that to a certain extent. But it's when it becomes kind of so prominent in your life that it's making you or preventing you from doing things or making you act in a certain way. And I thought that was really sad, to the way she described that, actually. And particularly when she said, "I'm not going to have any children," she made that decision because she thought, I'm a bad person and they're going to be bad people. And yeah, I thought it was really, really moving. She made a really interesting point as well about the incident that happened when she was a child, and she actually said it was the fact that nothing happened, which is what upset her as a child. And I was like, it's just this is what's so important about these shows and the way that the conversations that we're having is that you're taking you're taking the scenario and you're seeing it from a totally different point of view from the person who was there. For her to say, as a child, she didn't know what she was going through, and she was just gutted that nothing actually happened. And you're like, wow, that again, it's exactly why these shows exist, is to see that from that point of view.
One of the things that really struck me from that conversation as well was she used the analogy that people have a character in their head that they are, and if they view themselves from a particular character point of view, they wait for those flaws or those issues to come up. In the way that as you're a kid, you're Captain America or you're Royal Rovers. I'm a bit older than you, Royal Rovers.
Yeah.
Cartoon footballer. You are a superhero, and kids love the superhero stuff and the Iron Man, and you are invincible and nothing can hurt you because you're a kid. And actually we do that, don't we? We see narratives in our lives and we kind of go, oh, that's the way I view myself now, or that's the way that my life is going. And we just accept it as a thing. And one of the things that she's saying is that narrative either doesn't exist, or if it does exist, change it to whatever suits you best. So if you feel you're in a dead-end job and it's going nowhere, or, that things aren't going according to plan because that's the path that you're on, you can change the path. It is a mental decision that you make to change that path.
Yeah, I was at an event this morning, entrepreneurs in mental health, and I was talking to somebody who's she's a therapist, and she was talking to me about stuff like that, and she said in a day the average person has 60,000 thoughts.
Really?
Don't know now. I've started there and I don't know. It was either 60,000 negative, 90,000 thoughts and 60,000 negative. Anyway, basically we have a lot of negative thoughts, and every day we repeat those 90% of those negative thoughts that we have in a day. We repeat every day because it's surrounded by us. It's whether it's fear, whether it's negativity, whether it's in newspapers, news, when you're walking down the road. And basically what she was saying is exactly that, is that it's just a case of rewiring it or rethinking. It's how you perceive something. It's just change. It's just a thought change. It's just a breaking that little habits that you usually have, and it's absolutely doable. And that's kind of what she was saying, is that how she approaches therapy when people are coming to her saying they're feeling this certain way and they can't break that habit. But that's all it is. There's just a way of working through and being able to change that way of thinking.
Have you got a character? Have you got a book? Are you on a narrative? Were you on a narrative when you were in darker times?
I don't know. I mean, as soon as she said that, and I was thinking to myself, I don't know what character. I can't think of any character in the world. And then when you brought it up, I thought, he's probably going to ask me this now, isn't he? And I wanted to ask you before you asked me, because I can't. I don't know. I can't think of anyone.
Yeah, well,
who are you?
I think it's not necessarily about characters, but I think when I was growing up and everyone was into like Oasis and Blur,
yeah,
and I kind of went along and went with Blur just because everyone liked Oasis, so I was trying to be a bit different.
Oh, okay.
But I wasn't really into Blur, but I just felt like I had to be one. You had to pick one of them, and it was only later on when I listened to sort of different other types of music, more like American rock music, that I started to think, oh, I get that. That sounds like me, or that sounds like what I'm thinking as, 17, 18-year-olds.
Yeah,
which I wouldn't have got from, oh, my dog's been itching in the kitchen once again, which is an Oasis lyric. That would relate to some people.
Yeah.
I quite fancy her mother, and I think that she likes me. I couldn't relate to that. But there was other stuff that I was listening to, which then I could relate to. I thought, oh, this gets, when you think, oh, this gets me, it's about me, this music. It isn't about you, but you just find associations with it. And you think, well, if you don't find those outlets in life, maybe, then that could be a struggle. But the other thing is that then you think, right, well, I must define myself by what Justin Timberlake tells me to do, or that REM track or whatever it is, then you go too far, don't you, in the other way?
Yeah, and that's why it's about broadening your mind and looking at different kind of avenues. Music, I think, is such a powerful one, because it can feel like that is, especially if you're just listening on your own, it can feel like they're speaking to you. I know one thing for me was that moment when I was going to university and you're learning about how to write as doing a journalism course in university, and it was about how to write a story. But I always remember the moment when I learned how to write with my voice. Do you know what I mean? Like writing down and hearing, taking what's in my head and actually writing it down and learning that voice was a really massive thing for me to be able to try and get feelings out and write them down. So it was that tuning into that inner voice.
Thank you to everybody who, by the way, who's been emailing the show over the course of the last couple of weeks. I will do my best to get through everyone. Sarah, thank you for your email. Really appreciate your kind words about the programme as well. We'll do our best to either get you on the programme or talk up your event in the upcoming weeks. Irene says, hi, Mick. I was wondering whether you can give a mention to my latest play, Why? Capital letters, why, which tackles the sensitive subject of a young boy's suicide. His parents and friends tried to come to terms with the death as they asked two main questions: why did he do it, and could they have prevented it? The play will resonate with many of your listeners, I'm sure. It is being performed on Tuesday the 24th of April at 7:30pm at the Gladstone Theatre in Port Sunlight as part of the Liverpool Drama Festival. Tickets are £6 for that one as well. So the play is called Why. It's on Tuesday the 24th of April at 7:30pm at the Gladstone Theatre in Port Sunlight as part of the Liverpool Drama Festival. Tickets are £6 for that one as well, and you can check out that. Written by Irene Stewart, directed by Irene and Darren Partington as well. 24th of April, it's a Tuesday night at £6. That's a great venture. Thank you for getting in contact with that. This is the sort of thing we absolutely want to do as part of Mental Health Extra, to get these sort of stories out and point people in the direction of it. Plays are good ways of getting these issues out, aren't they? Because they can throw up a possible situation or a relatable situation which people go, oh, how would I react in that situation?
Yeah, and you've got a captive audience as well, haven't you? And it's very rare that you can get out before the interval as well, so that's always a good thing. When I done a comedy show, I had a mic and people sitting there, so they couldn't avoid what I was trying to say, really. But it's looking at these different ways of being able to talk and have a conversation with people. And as you said, put a scenario in there and allow you to kind of think, what would I do? They are all good things, and even from a performance point of view, the people who are in that as well, that potentially could be quite a good thing to be involved in, if you've got any kind of experience with that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Also on the podcast, by the way, I should mention this one for people who haven't listened to the podcast yet. There's an interview with Frankie Bridge on there as well. Frankie from the Saturdays. She's actually down at Disney on Ice at the weekend. She's actually in it. And to be honest, the interview is mainly me dominated questions about Disney.
Yeah, I mean, like, I couldn't walk into the studio here for all the hints that had been dropped. Did you get anywhere with that? No?
Yeah, don't worry. Don't worry. Me and Frankie. We've been DMing. We're fine.
Yeah, that's all right. I actually came into it a bit late because I didn't know that was added on to the end of it. And I came into it when she was talking about there being a Frozen section. I thought she was talking about the co-op. And, but she was talking about kids' films and films that are on constantly in our house, and I just thought, I don't know about you, that has an impact on my mental health. The fact that Babe has been on 350 times this week alone in our house.
Well, you know what? Babe was my nana. God love her. Absolutely love her to bits. She died 10 years ago. Her favourite film was Babe. And there is a song in that which I can't listen to without welling up. And it's the one where it's when the
farmer's dancing
sings. No, not the happy one.
Oh.
The words, if I had words to make a day for you.
You don't have to sing it if you don't.
No, I can feel myself going just thinking about it. There's something about that song. And it's about a dog, it's about a farmer singing it to a pig.
Yeah,
it's a ridiculous thing, but it triggers these sort of things.
I feel bad now. I'm sorry about that.
Frankie's a brilliant example, though, of somebody who is young. She's cool. We can say she's cool, right?
Yeah.
She's relatable across a couple of generations as well. She's doing the Disney thing, but she's been in the Saturday. So girls from the age of 8 up until 35 will probably know who she is as well. And she doesn't necessarily want to be, look at me, I'm talking mental health. But she's an ambassador. She's an ambassador for mine, and she's happy to talk about her mental health. And that's a positive thing, isn't it? Because that's not, a professor. That's not some people wearing, lab coats or anything like that. That's somebody who is a pop star. That's somebody you see on celebrity TV. That's somebody who most people can make a connection with.
Yeah, they're exactly the type of people that we need to be talking about. And again, it's just about normalising it. It's about having a conversation that doesn't have to be about how your horrific experience. It's just about saying how normal it is to maybe feel these things. And that's what she was saying as well, is that I think she said if you speak to 2 or 3 friends from her experience, at least one of them will understand where you're coming from and probably be able to relate to what you're saying as well. And again, yes, she'll be an idol to a lot of people, and it's really important that people like her are talking about it as well.
You just mentioned the event you were at a little bit earlier on today.
Yeah, it was Business Clouds, Entrepreneurs and Mental Health, and it was very good because it was very raw and honest people. It was about entrepreneurs who were trying to do all this work, but actually who's talking about them and their mental health and the kind of strains that has on them, and some high profile people there who were really talking really honestly, and it's really good, and it was such a positive thing as well to be able to come away from that. So I felt really positive when I came away, and I've just gone to St. John's to put the lottery on because I felt really inspired, and I got ID'd, and you've got to be 16 to put the lottery on. I just got ID'd. It's brought me right down. Really? Yeah. Like she was like, "Oh, you should be." I was like, "No." She said, "How old are you?" I said, "Well, I'm 30 this year." And she was like, "Oh, you don't look it." I was like, "Oh, just." Oh,
that's a positive thing, though, isn't it?
Well, I don't. Maybe, but not for me right now. I'm so positive about it all that just being discussed, and she's brought me down.
Do you ever get a sense, when you go to these events, it would have been maybe even 18 months ago, here comes Jake, he's going to do the mental health thing, and we're all going to sit there and listen. Do you find yourself increasingly going to these events as Jake Mills from Chasing the Stigma, and actually you sit there and other people do the thing that you would have done 18 months? You obviously do your thing as well, but other people can tell their stories, other people can share their stories, and it's not just, Jake's the one who tells the mental health stories.
Yeah, not only that, but also people were saying all the same stuff or similar stuff to what I say as well. And again, this is what we said about when we've done the 24-hour show. And I think maybe more so on that show because it was guest after guest after guest. Everybody was saying the same thing. Everybody's making the same points. And mainly it was about not knowing, not understanding and feeling like they were the only ones. And only because they come through it did they realise that they weren't.
Jake Mills from Chasing the Stigma. If people want to find out more information about the work that you do, your website is
chasingthestigma.co.uk.
And if people want to find out mental health services near to where they live, where can they go?
It's on hubofhope.co.uk or available on iOS devices.
Excellent stuff. Thank you for your time. Mental Health Extra every Tuesday from Radio City Talk. Thanks for checking it out. And if you want a mention, if you've got events like Irene today who contacted the show, do email me, mick@radiocity.co.uk. That's mick@radiocity.co.uk. And hopefully we can either give you a mention on the programme or we can feature you as a guest as well. We'll do our best to get as many people on as we can and certainly speak ahead of those events.
Mental Health Monday with Mick Coyle.
Radio City Talk.